amateur wrestling. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
A perfectly legal move, but how devastating. Now look at this.
Rock and roll on the move. These are the moves that made them the great team that they are.
This is vintage Rock and Roll Express, and sure enough, there's your 3 count. We just saw a prime example.
Wrestling High. This is Rick Stewart, along with Joe Pedicino in the next 60 minutes, some wild ones.
Rick, the dream match has come true. Our main event on TV today will be Buddy Landel.
Nature Boy Buddy Landel, and may I say, I love it when them girls scream, something just happens to me. God, it finally happened. Can you believe it, Doug? These guys got enough huevos, man, to sign a contract because our name's been on an open contract.
What? No, you've been out here for 2 weeks saying there's not enough money anywhere to get you a match on TV. Now you got the Rock and Rolls.
The difference between us and the Rock and Roll Express is the Rock and Roll Express has got to come out here week after week so the people don't forget about them. I ain't been around here in 2 years and I'm as good as the day that I left. That's exactly what I'm talking about, and I got witnesses to testify to it. Now, Ricky and Robert, I've told you all along, baby, I got the man and I got myself, and that's all that we need, and we're going to take care of business. So you guys got about 30, 40 some odd minutes left in your career, baby. So party hardy.
The words of pretty boy Doug Summers.
Education time. It's going to be education time. The nature boy, the pretty boy, we're going to put it to them. And when we get done, they won't be rock and rolling no more, Daddy.
Fans, that's today's TV main event right now.
I want to tell y'all something. I'm going to show you what kind of nice guy I am. After I get through crippling you all up, I'm going to set y'all up with a popsicle stand on the corner down here in Mooreville, baby. So don't ever say that I'm not a nice guy. And about that guy running around Charlotte looks like me driving that Volkswagen, I'm the best thing going, baby.
Fans, it's our TV main event. We got a great one standing by. Let's go to the ring.
All right, standing by right now in the ring is Gene Ligon. And Rick, I'm sorry to just have left you like that, but those two just absolutely frustrate me. And to hear them sitting there and trying to say those things, I just couldn't take it. And I felt like I'd be better off over here. Look at who's coming to the ring.
Somebody said actions speak louder than words. We're going to see some action out of gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and the always lovely Precious.
Boy,
plus
isn't
that
that
TV main event. It's time to put up or shut up this hour, brother.
Buddy Landel, I don't think is real good at shutting up, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can put up against the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, look Jimmy Garvin, a kiss for the squeeze.
Let me ask you, could you be motivated to start every match if you knew that gorgeous lady was going to plant one on those lips?
I'd have a winning record like Garvin does.
Motivate me, man.
Gene Ligon does not look amused by the situation in the other corner. A very intense and not very happy-looking gentleman at this juncture, excuse me, of the match.
Maybe a little envy there.
There's a possibility, sir. A possibility indeed.
All right, Gene Ligon.
I'm kind of envious.
Do what now?
Can we move the desk down there so we can sit by her?
That's right. Get Precious maybe to come back here. That's what we need to do is to get Precious to come back here.
Now you're talking.
Let her come back and see a commentator view. Of course, I have a feeling it wouldn't do any good, Rick Stewart.
I'd be on the... I'd be a little bit careful about getting Jimmy upset, too.
Look at that lady, though. There she is at ringside. She is tremendous motivation for gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, as he tells us every time we talk to him, he loves his lady.
Fans, in addition to the matches we've already talked about, including that TV main event, the Rock and Rolls against the Nature Boy and the Pretty Boy, Landel and Summers. You'll be seeing the Mod Squad in action. Rick Gibson this hour, former LA Ram Todd champion, my buddy Scott Armstrong, Mitch Snow, the Outlaw Deatons, 60 action-packed minutes from start to end.
It sure is going to be, and that main event is one to look forward to. And I guess congratulations right now to all of the people here at ACW for putting that main event here on TV today.
Ligon comes diving into the corner. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin moved out of the way just in the nick of time. Garvin firing Ligon into the ropes, up and down. Beautiful backdrop from Gorgeous Jimmy.
You know, as we take a look there at Precious, as she is sitting there telling them to put the brain buster on him, we see that that's exactly where he goes. He puts the brain buster and brings him right down. That's it. Jimmy Garvin does what Precious wanted. He put the brain buster on Gene Ligon. And there we see the winner. Let's go back, if we can, and take a look right now at that great brain buster. And here you see Ligon pull down right on the top of his head. And that, of course, gives Jimmy Garvin all he needs to get a 3 count.
There's only one gene endorsed by the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Wrangler Cowboy Cut Jeans.
From Oakdale, California, Ted Noose.
Professional or a weekend cowboy, Nelson Royal's official Wrangler PRCA Pro Rodeo dealer has the duds to fit you and the horse you rode in on.
Do you have a brain-injured child? Did everybody tell you it was hopeless? Here at the Institutes for the Achievement of Human Potential, I've watched the parents and the staff make severely brain-injured children well when everyone said it couldn't be done. Want a fighting chance to get your child well? Call the Institutes for the Achievement of Human Potential. At this number, dial 1-800-73-MINELLI. That's 1-800-73-MINNELLI, or write to this address.
This company needs quick decisions. So does yours. This company needs leaders. So does yours. This company needs well-trained people. So does yours. So when this company needs to borrow people from your company,
come on, man, move it on. Let's go, let's go.
remember, they'll always come back better than they were before.
Hey, Bill, could we get your approval on this?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Every month, engineer Andrew Crockett buys U.S. savings bonds, which means his daughter can now reach for the stars. Find out more. Call 1-800-US-BONDS.
It's simply the best summer ever for movies on HBO. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, from the director of Lethal Weapon, the scalding hit Lethal Weapon 2. Peter Falk, Brenda Vaccaro, Jerry Lewis, Diane Weiss, Emily Lloyd, the tough, bittersweet comedy Cookie, Richard Dreyfuss, Terry Garr, David Johansen, Michelle Phillips, Big Spenders, Let It Ride. It's simply the best movies on HBO.
We'll be back with the $50 million lotto numbers after this message.
People all over America are flipping to the Home Shopping Club to save up to 40% on brand name merchandise.
I want the 18-karat gold necklace.
In no time, you can check out the bargains, order by phone, and flip right back to your program.
For $50 million, the winning numbers are 6, 9, 13, 20.
Home Shopping Club, where America flips for bargains.
Next time on Charlotte Issues Forum. North Carolina is still the leader in school-based management systems because of a new program in Charlotte. Educational experts prefer this to central control. The school-based management system is probably Peter Relick's greatest legacy to Charlotte. Join C.J. Underwood and his guest, Dr. Peter Relick, to thank him and wish him well in the future. Tuesday, July 31st at 8 p.m. live on TV 15. Give us a call.
Fans, we got a match standing by in the ring. The Rock and Roll Express still hasn't left the interview area. Somehow I get the feeling there's just a little bit more about today's TV main event that might be on your mind, brother.
You know what somebody I don't like is somebody come out here running their mouth telling the whole world what they're gonna do. Well, you see, Buddy Landale, I got a little nature boy myself, Jack. We don't care what it takes about you. We know that you're a tough guy. You got a reputation around the world saying you hadn't been here in a long time. Well, brother, we've been here because the Carolinas is our home, and we're gonna stay here. That's the reason that we're right here at the ACW, brother, and we are gonna stay here, and we are gonna take you down.
Now you got your partner Doug Summers talking about how big and bad he is, brother. Won't you just show us, Jack? That's right. You signed that contract. Now your mouth is going to check that I don't think your behind can cash, brother.
Fans, that's the TV main event. All the talking's going to cease this hour on Atlantic Coast Wrestling. We got a match standing by right now. Let's go to the ring.
In the ring right now, we've got a tag team match, and one of those tag teams that the Rock and Roll Express was talking about is in the ring, and that is the Deaton brothers, the Outlaws. They're going to be taking on the team of Tommy Angel and Bob Emery. And I tell you something, Rick, I think the Rock and Roll Express are going to prove a point later in today's show.
I think all four guys are out to prove a point. Landell's got something eating him. I'm not sure what it is right now, but something's bothering Nature Boy, buddy.
Well, down home where I come from, they call it jealousy, envy.
Ooh. Well, I didn't kind of quite want to put it like that.
Yeah.
But come to think of it, I think you're right.
Well, you know, I've noticed Buddy Landell standing in the dressing room door, and every time he sees the Rock and Roll Express come out and he sees the great reaction they get from the crowd and how much this crowd just loves Ricky and Robert, you just see, if we were in the movies.
It's like that 24 hours a day with Landell.
Yeah.
I've been in the same nightclub with him, and if he is not the absolute center of attention in anything he's around, he loses it. He goes nuts.
Tonight he's going to have to see, as Ricky said, he's going to have to see if his rear end can back up the check that his mouth has written. So that'll be coming up later in the show. We're also going to see the Mod Squad later today, and we're going to see Rick Gibson coming up a little bit later on. We've got a great hour of action, of course, capped off by that main event. We're going to be seeing an awful lot of tag team. This is the first of about 4 tag team matches that we'll be seeing on today's show.
Man, that twist and suplex from Hoss Deaton caught Tommy Angel unawares. Deaton doesn't suplex like a regular wrestler. He puts a little special twist on it, and I understand that even gives it more power. Angel put on a good showing earlier in the match, gave the Deatons as good as they got. But you get in a 2-on-1 situation, and no man can fight off 2 for very long.
No, there's not anybody out there that's going to be able to take these 2 at one time.
Hang on! Sunset flip, he's got Joel Deaton down.
It didn't look like he was going to be able to pull him over there for a minute, but he used the balance that he's taught. And now we see in the ring, this should be Bob Emery. And Bob Emery now with Joel Deaton. This should be a good matchup. Both of these men about the same size and the same structure, you might say. And it should be a pretty good matchup right now. Bob Emery right now has the arm of Joel Deaton, and let's see what he can do with that.
Been hearing more and more reports about the fabled Oriental trip of the Deatons. Now, the Outlaws will tell you one thing, but I've heard a lot of things like heavy fines.
Yeah.
The Oriental trip's very lucrative. I don't know if the Deatons brought home any money, because I know that the officials over there took a lot of it back in fines.
That's right. Well, let me say this. You know, they say they did not lose a match while they were over there. We did some checking, and that's true. They did not lose a match unless you don't count disqualification.
Which was the rule about 75% of the time. Deaton's in, double suplex on Bob Emery. And love him or hate him, you've got to admit that the Deaton brothers are a precision machine in the ring.
That's right. They work together as a brother team should. It's almost like they know what each other is thinking all of the time. And right now, Hoss Deaton throws Emery in, brings him over a high backdrop. Emery comes down right on the back, knocking the wind out of Bob Emery. Now, Hoss Deaton takes advantage of that, turns right back around, puts an elbow into the back, and just keeps working on knocking the breath out of him.
Deaton using his own body to come down across the small of the back of Bob Emery. Joel Deaton of the 2 may be the better classical wrestler, but let me tell you, Hoss is liable to go off at any minute. He's like a time bomb. Tick, 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 ticking away in the corner. You never know when Hoss Deaton's going to lose it and hurt somebody inside the ring.
And let me say this about Hoss Deaton. He's mean.
Hang on. Tommy Angel trying to get in. He didn't like some of the tactics that are going on. Gave Deaton just the opportunity he was looking for.
Comes in and suplexes him to the back. Big double chop there. And now goes for a tag on mean Hoss Deaton. And Deaton now, they throw Emery in. Big double elbow off. And in my opinion, Rick, they're just playing with Bob Emery.
Hoss Deaton, you can see him stalking his man. it's conceivable to me, too, that they might have been able to pin this young man at some earlier point in the match, but the Deatons have been known, like we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Their thing is to hurt a young wrestler.
That's right.
They get off on it for some sick reason. They like it.
They believe in punishing these young men. And right now, he's got him in a bear hug, and we've seen this before now. We've seen him turn it into a huge slam. We don't know if that's where he'll head for this week, but you see big Hoss Deaton, and this time he's going to slam him right into the turnbuckle.
Up like that in the bear hug, you're completely defenseless. You're literally at the mercy of Hoss Deaton, which is not a good place to be because there are not too many merciful bones in Hoss's body.
I tell you, I got a feeling there's going to be a chiropractor here in North Carolina that's going to be seeing.
Oh! Deaton thought he was going to polish him off with that elbow in the corner. Emery made the tag to Tommy Angel, and this young guy is on fire against the Texas Outlaw.
That's right, Tommy Angel, one of the big fan favorites. Now he tags Bob Emery right back in again. That might have been a mistake. Even though Emery's had a small chance to recuperate and to get his breath back, I don't know that he was ready to come right back in the ring like that, but he does pick up Joel Deaton, slams him. The referee goes for a 2 count. Joel Deaton kicks out.
It was close.
Maybe Bob Emery was more ready than I thought.
Deaton using his own head drives into the stomach of Bob Embry. The tag to Hoss and the windmill overhand blows, kind of like a rabbit punch in boxing, start right away on Emery. He manages to get Hoss turned around, up with a drop kick. Didn't get him like he wanted to, but it was good enough to knock the big man down.
He got Hoss down, but now that blow, I don't want to say that was a low blow, but it was about as close as you could come. Hoss Deaton taking Bob Emery into the corner. All right, here it comes. Here comes the stampede.
And 2 Deatons, one right after the other. 9 times out of 10, this is the prelude to the Bulldog. This time, Joel Deaton rolls his man up. Did he get him? I don't think so. He may have had his shoulders just a fraction, and Deaton is furious.
Deaton thought he had. You know what was happening here? Deaton was showing off. Yeah. He wasn't even going to use the Bulldog. He was showing off. He just rolled the man up, and he did not get the 3 count, and it made him furious.
We sit here and talk about concentration, and I know a lot of the wrestlers that we have out here talk about concentration. Here he goes, winds him up in the corner, up and down with the Bulldog headlock. Now Deaton's mind.
Oh, and look at this now. Look at this. Not only a Bulldog, but he grapevines him, wraps him up, and makes sure that he's going to get the 3 count. And there are the winners of this match, Joel and Hoss Deaton, the Outlaws. If we can, we're going to go back and take a look one more time at that big Bulldog headlock that ended this match, as Bob Emery is driven face first into the mat. And Joel Deaton turns him over, and as we said, with some arrogance, this time he's going to make sure he gets the 3 count. And right now, let's go. Rick Stewart's going to try and talk to the Outlaws.
For the last couple of years, the Deatons, the outlaw Deaton brothers, Hoss and Joel, have developed a reputation around pro wrestling circles as a couple of guys who enjoy injuring younger and less experienced wrestlers.
Rick Stewart, what we do is go out there each and every night and wrestle. We put our bodies out there in that ring. We give it 130% every night. And I tell you what, it's like what you people just witnessed. It took 2 times we had the man beat the first time. I already see a little something funny going on here. I had to take and beat him again, Rick Stewart, right in the middle of the ring. Tell him, Hoss. The bottom line is you hit the nail on the head. We enjoy hurting people. We don't care about the win. We hurt people. Now y'all got some long-haired, fancy music punks rocking about here by rock and roll. Line up rock and roll. We coming at you, rock and roll. Texas out.
He's a time bomb. The Deatons, more action when we come back.
In 1969, 4 friends were dedicated to peace, love.
I love you, man.
And
marijuana. What do they want it for? Draft evasion, conspiring to undermine the government of the United States.
We got to drop out of sight unless we want to do some very serious time.
Fred and Jesus split for a utopian society.
Planted our grass.
We smoked the grass.
You've been stoned for 20 years.
Now they're back.
I mean, you still look like dirty, filthy hippies.
And in for a rude awakening.
You missed everything. Watergate, Ford, Carter, the hostage crisis.
I own tanning salons.
Hey, how do you get the sun to shine just on those guys who pay, man?
I'm getting these. I don't care about my planet vibes.
What are we gonna do?
We're taking over the campus.
Cheech Marin, Eric Roberts, Julie Haggerty, and Robert Carradine give peace a chance one more time. Rude Awakening premieres Saturday, August 11th on Cinemax.
In today's world, you hear a lot about time. How to manage it. How to find more of it. How to make the time you have work for you. That's why Headline News is designed to fit your schedule. Anytime, all the time, 24 hours a day. Headline News. The perfect choice whether you've got a few minutes or all the time in the world.
All this hour we've been talking about tag teams here on Atlantic Coast Wrestling. We got a tag team for you right now. There you get a look at Scott Armstrong in the full singlet on the left. Jamming Mitch Snow, his partner, getting the high five and set to take on.
You're going to be taking on L.A. Stevens.
John Savage.
Yeah. You know, we have talked for a couple of weeks now about the possibility of a tag team formed by Jammin' Mitch Snow and Scott Armstrong, and here today we are going to see it right here on Atlantic Coast Wrestling, and they're going up against what I think will be a formidable team. Now, we've seen John Savage the past few weeks. He is a formidable opponent, and this fella, L.A. Stevens, I tell you.
I haven't put my finger on him yet, but there's something in those eyes. You know, I look at him on the close-up. Good shot there. The former World's Junior Heavyweight Champion, Scott Armstrong, called a super kick by some fans, and he's got a devastating one.
That's right. He's got a karate savate-style kick that once he hits you with it, most of the time you are out. And there you see L.A. Stevens and his partner in the ring now, John Savage. And as we said, we've been seeing something of these two, and I think this could be a good tag team match. And there goes Mitch Snow now, up and over John Savage, takes him into the ropes. Oh, but Savage holds on. But look at this now. Savage
back up on his feet.
Yeah.
Got him right on the money. Hip block. And Mitch Snow is all over John Savage. And you know, somewhere in the back of Mitch's mind, he and Scott, as well as Stevens and Savage, have got to know that the first time together as a team on TV, very important, not only to come away a winner, but to come away impressing the various officials of Atlantic Coast Wrestling, various local promoters who watch to get a good idea of what's going on here in this area. You can tell that Scott and Mitch have been putting some time into the gym, some good teamwork moves there in the tag.
You know, you're absolutely right, Rick. Not only are they under the pressure to win, they have to look good doing it. And a lot of times that's tough for a new team. And I think it says a lot for these two to go up on TV. Oh, I was going to say their first time out of the bat.
Much better than that.
Oh, John Savage ran that shoulder right into that corner post. Solid steel. And that solid steel doesn't give much, Rick Stewart.
Fans, coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to give you an address and a phone number where your local civic organization, your charity group, can write to Crown Promotions to sponsor Atlantic Coast Wrestling in your hometown.
We've got it up on the screen right now, Rick.
Take a look, Crown Promotions Incorporated, Post Office Box 1251, Mooresville, North Carolina. That zip code is 28115.
Or, Rick, if they'd rather call, they can call the number they see on the screen there, the 704 area code, of course, and the number is 664-9770. And they can call, and we'll be more than happy to talk to them about bringing HCW to their hometown.
Savage trying to block a move by Mitch Snow. He almost had the leverage right. Snow sat down on him, came down on Savage's head, and kept Savage from turning this match around.
That's right. The match could have been over right there.
Good presence of mind for Mitch Snow as he drops in right on top of the shoulder of John Savage. I guess keeping your cool when things are going bad, really the mark of a professional.
Look at this teamwork. You know, Rick, the people at Crown Promotions tell me that the list of towns that they have received requests from to bring Atlantic Coast Wrestling into their towns is very impressive. All across the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, up into Virginia, down into Georgia, Tennessee, really covering the Atlantic Coast area.
Well, just look at the names that are associated with Atlantic Coast.
That's right.
Not only a great night of pro wrestling, wrestling for you and for your neighbors and from everybody in your hometown, but an excellent opportunity to raise money for your projects and a real family sport. And we really pride ourselves on giving the best family entertainment and family sporting activity professional wrestling can provide.
That's right, and what a great way to do a fundraiser. As you said, if your organization, your nonprofit organization has been looking for a way to raise money here during the holiday season, there's no finer way than the people here at the Atlantic Coast Wrestling.
Tag from Armstrong to Mitch Snow. Savage may not have realized it. He does now, because Jamming Mitch jams that right hand to the side of his jaw, and Savage looks like he may have taken a couple of really harsh blows.
There's the tag. He comes over. Oh, there's the super kick right into the jaw. You could count to 10 because I don't believe that John Savage will be getting up from that one. And the super kick does the job for the team of Scott Armstrong and Mitch Snow, and I might say they did look impressive in winning their first match here on Atlantic Coast Wrestling as a team. And if we can, we're going to take a look one more time as Mitch Snow goes up, John Savage goes down to duck under, and as he comes up, guess what's waiting for him? Wham! Right there, the super kick is standing by, and that does the trick for John Savage.
Begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. What you end up with is a Marine. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
It's simply the best summer ever for movies on HBO. Michael J. Fox, Sean Penn, a Brian De Palma film remembers the horrifying casualties of war. James Woods, Beau Bridges, Peter Weller, the leading men in HBO's original movie, Women and Men, Stories of Seduction. Bruce Willis, Emily Lloyd, Judith Ivey. A powerful drama reveals the scars of war in country. It's simply the best movies on HBO.
It's time once again for exciting baseball action with TV15 and your Charlotte Knights. They'll take the field in the brand new Knights Castle. And if you can't be there in person, then TV15 will bring the game right into your living room. You'll catch all the action, from the opening pitch to the final out. And of course, TV15 will be giving away tickets to upcoming home games all season long. So let us take you out to the old ball game. That's TV15 and your Charlotte Knights.
Fans, here we come again to Joe Pedicino's favorite part of Atlantic Coast Wrestling.
That's right. We've got a brand, well, I don't want to say a brand new, because we're going to go back and take a look at a little younger version of the Rock and Roll Express. Back in their very first days, they did a music video. We said they were one of the first ones to do one, and we went back and found it. Big, I was going to say the big nasty one, but I don't guess you'd call...
They're both big, and they're both...
Yeah, I don't guess you'd call Basher the small nasty one either.
Look at this. Oh, man. Now, what do you call that?
The end, I think.
Painful. As Spike of the Mod Squad just jams David Isley down on his back. Now look at this.
The only reason that wasn't the end of the match was because the Mod Squad didn't want it to be. They are going to punish David Isley, and David Isley showing right now some gumption as he gets out of it, comes back, and he's holding.
You know he's got to be shaken up.
Got to be glad to be getting out of the ring, and right now Basher in there with Rick Nelson and turns him around, throws Rick in. Rick comes off. Good move. Now look at that. Now here comes Rick Nelson off. He catches him and slams him.
We were talking earlier about keeping her head when the chips are down, and apparently, as much as I hate to admit it, that's exactly what Basher did. That body press off the top rope, I thought it'd at least be a close, a near fall. He turned it around to his own advantage, set him up for his brother Spike. We have a serious threat to a lot of teams here in Atlantic Coast in the person of the Mod Squad.
Remind me never to call Basher small.
No.
He caught that man in midair, and even though he was falling, he was able to turn the man around and to slam him. And now you see the tag team tactics we're talking about, where Spike keeps the referee and points out to the referee that David Isley is trying to come in while Basher double teams on his opponent, Rick Nelson.
The tag between Basher and Spike, with Basher, the legal man, in with young Rick Nelson. Just minutes away, fans, the Rock and Roll Express take on Nature Boy Buddy Landell and Pretty Boy Doug Summers. This Nelson's a game young man. The young ladies here at ringside seem to find a lot of fancy in him, and some of the older fans feel that this guy has got a lot of what it takes to be a success in pro wrestling.
Yes, he is going to be a star. He's maybe a little bit away from it, but he gives it all he's got, and he's, I understand, in intensive training daily, and every day you can see improvement in young Rick Nelson, but he is in against one of the top tag teams in the world.
Tags back and forth between the Mod Squad. I think Basher's legal in this one. Bombs away off the top rope with that elbow. Nelson never even had a chance.
No, the Mod Squad put an end to that one as Basher comes off the top rope with that big elbow, as we've seen him do so many times. And if we can, let's get a closer up look. We'll go take a close look now at that elbow and look at the intensity, and look at him as he gets that power up by swinging his arms, comes straight down with the elbow across the chest, and that's all she wrote for young Rick Nelson. The winners of the match are the Mod Squad.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young.
The flag was still there.
We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate.
Present.
Lower it when we mourn.
Our flag is presented on behalf of a grateful nation.
And honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. The flag of the United States of America. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
Every month, engineer Andrew Crockett buys U.S. savings bonds, which means his daughter can now reach for the stars. Find out more. Call 1-800-US-BONDS.
the Nashville Network. Saddle up, partner, and join some real cowboys as they head to the Astrodome for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. It's an annual celebration as big as the state of Texas with your host, Mike Snyder, and country star Tanya Tucker. Fairs and festivals, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, Monday at 11 on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Imagine yourself in an emergency. Your survival depends on fast, accurate treatment. That's why you should depend on Medical Alert. Millions do. An emergency responder's call to Medical Alert tells them your medical conditions, current prescriptions, drug allergies, family and physicians. Information that could save your life. To learn more, call Medical Alert. 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
You've been waiting for. The TV main event is Guns N' Roses brings Nature Boy Buddy Landel and Pretty Boy Doug Summers to the ring. They take on the legendary Rock and Roll Express.
You know, I was wondering, Rick, if we were going to see these two in the ring together. And sure enough, as we said last week, what a dream match this would be. But here it is on Atlantic Coast Wrestling, the Rock and Roll Express taking on the team of Buddy Landel and Pretty Boy Doug Summers, and you know it's going to be a hot and heavy match.
This has got to be the toughest test that either team has faced since they've been in Atlantic Coast area. And with all the things that Landel and Summers have had to say over the last couple of weeks, this ought to be a barn burner.
That's right. You know, Landel and Summers have been using their mouths an awful lot. Now we're going to see if they can, what was it Ricky said, back it up.
There you go.
Yeah, look at Buddy Landel, just pure disdain for the Rock and Roll Express, and we've said all along there's something going on in his mind about this team.
Something's bugging Buddy.
Oh, yeah, look at him, look.
It could be the gentleman across the ring from him. No love lost between Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. Buddy Landel, the Nature Boy. And his partner, the Pretty Boy, Doug Summers.
Well, sure enough, it's going to be Ricky Gibson and Buddy Landel starting this match off. And the crowd picks up the chant of rock and roll, and he does not like it. Look at that.
Buddy Landel, I guess he didn't give a snap about rock and roll. Landel, for all his yip-yap and his arrogant posturing, he'll fool you because he's a darn good wrestler. And he's a dangerous man to boot.
He is one of the most deceitful men in the wrestling business.
Anytime you got an egomaniac, isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah, you look pretty,
good.
buddy. Yeah, you look pretty.
I like the boots, huh?
Yeah, look at it. You look pretty, buddy. Now let's see if you can get in there and do something.
He can, believe me, sir. All four men here at one time or another have laid claim to a world title of some kind.
That's right.
We've got four of the best and biggest stars in pro wrestling in the ring on TV for our main event.
Watch it, watch it. Look at that.
Oh, man, he's going to get hurt if he keeps that up. Ricky Morton's not having any of that cutesy stuff.
I don't mind telling you, you could see that was coming.
Landel's out.
And Ricky Morton standing over Buddy Landel. Now, Buddy Landel's going to come up and say, what happened?
Oh, man, you just don't fool around in a situation like that.
Boy, look at how good Landel is at keeping the referee between he and Ricky right now.
I don't think Landel will make that same mistake twice.
Let's see if he pinches the cheek again.
No.
right, here they go into the corner. Oh, and this time he decides a little rough stuff, throws Ricky into the other turnbuckle, goes in.
Considering they're going to be in our TV main event and considering the amount of letters and cards we get every week, we're going to take a look right now at two of the men who kind of changed the face of pro wrestling. Here are the Rock and Roll Express. Just taking a look at the Rock and Roll Express, kind of a natural segue here as we take a look at the older brother of Robert Gibson, Rick Gibson, back in action with former LA Ram Todd Champion as his partner. They'll be on their way to the ring in just a second, taking on George South and Trent Knight.
Should be a great tag team match as we see Trent Knight there in the ring now with George South. And sure enough, here comes the music as we are about to see former LA Ram Todd Champion come to the ring with his partner, Rick Gibson, as you said, the older brother of Robert.
And a national star in his own right, too. When you hear the song, The Eye of the Tiger, that's what Gibson's got. He's looking for a national spot, and he's going to get one right here on Atlantic Coast Wrestling. From the dressing room, come the pride of Pensacola, Rick Gibson. Former LA Ram Todd Champion directly behind him. And they don't waste any time getting down to business inside the ring.
Just another in the great tag team matches on today's show. And, of course, it's going to be highlighted at the end by our main event coming up with Buddy Landell and Doug Summers against the Rock and Roll Express. But right now, we've got Rick Gibson and Todd Champion taking on George South and Trent Knight as the referee tries to get two of the men out of the ring so that we can start this tag team match today on Atlantic Coast Wrestling. And we start with Rick Gibson and George South in the ring. These two men matched up pretty good, and Rick, this should be quite a match.
I'll tell you, Rick Gibson known for his speed and agility. George South known for some of the same. Gibson reverses him into the turnbuckle. He's right there with a backdrop. Arm drag from Rick Gibson. I spent a lot of time watching Rick Gibson. I'm proud to have been around him for a couple of years, and it does me good to see him back right there where he belongs, inside the squared circle, right in the middle of the mat wars. And believe me, brother, he can get it done.
That's right. I believe he's from the Pensacola area, where you spend a lot of time, don't you?
Yes, sir. It's my hometown.
Down
His
there
too.
by the ocean?
Yes, sir. And Rick Gibson definitely made that area his own at one time. And if he has anything to say about it, he's going to make Atlantic Coast Wrestling his area for a long time to come.
Well, you know, he's got to be happy to be here with his brother brother and, of course, his tag team partner. And it looks like Rick may have found himself one heck of a tag team partner himself here in Todd Champion.
Todd Champion continues to improve week by week, and you can actually see it in this young man as his confidence. Of course, he's always had a lot of confidence in himself because of his tremendous athletic background. But as he gets involved in the different opponents and the different ring wars and teams with different partners, especially great veterans like Rick Gibson, it's just a natural learning process, and Todd just keeps getting better and better and better.
That's right, and as you can see right now, George South, with the upper hand, makes the tag. And right now, Trent Knight comes into the ring. You know, I asked Todd Champion recently why he left football to enter pro wrestling.
Right.
I think he's going to be a superstar, but I was curious why anyone would leave the LA Rams to get into professional wrestling, and I got an answer that I get a lot of times from athletes who do team sports, Rick, and that is the fact that he was tired of relying on teams. He felt like that in wrestling, it's one or two men, and that's it, and you've got to do the job yourself. And if you let yourself down, boy, it shows.
Hang on, Joe. Rick Gibson spinning into the Gibson leg lock. It's got to be a pin. Nobody gets out of that one.
Todd Champion and Rick Gibson, and they come very quickly and win this match as they put Trent Knight and George South. And we can go back, as a matter of fact, and take a little bit closer look. Our different camera angle here on this Gibson grapevine. And as you can see, Todd Champion knew it was over. But there we see it. He pulls him back. The shoulders are down. The bridge there from Rick Gibson. There's nothing that Trent can do, and that's it.
There's only one gene endorsed by the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Wrangler Cowboy Cut Jeans.
Professional or a weekend cowboy, Nelson Royal's official Wrangler PRCA Pro Rodeo dealer has the duds to fit you and the horse you rode in on.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
World won't get no better if we're just
The power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. I'm Edward James Olmos, and we're recruiting new teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Aluminum recycling puts money in your pocket, and it helps our environment, and it conserves landfill space. Call toll-free for the recycling center nearest you.
For Jake Briggs, growing up isn't going to be easy.
What am I doing?
How does a guy cope with marriage?
Wilt thou provide her with credit cards and a 4-bedroom, 2 1/2 bath home?
I will.
And a career.
How do you feel about slave wages?
Slave wages are fine.
In-laws and friends are no help.
It's rude and it's wrong, but it's right on the money. She's holding you back, man.
Missy, when are you going to get your butt in gear and get me a grandchild?
Then there's the ultimate challenge.
I stopped taking the pill 3 months ago.
Reproduction.
Here's to successful fertilization, sweetie.
Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth McGovern, and Alec Baldwin star in John Hughes' comic look at the realities and fantasies of becoming an adult.
Yeah, you'll be happy.
You're not sleeping in this bed.
You just won't know it, that's all.
She's having a baby.
I got the dentist appointment, 2 tight shoes, blue. Yeah. I'm singing liver for dinner that my mom turns on the evening news, blue. But I can zap blue to orange with a flick of the wrist. I can zoom in the color when I tune in the Nickers. Nickelodeon's got me singing the reds, got me dancing the yellows, fade purple in my head. The blues ain't blue on Nickelodeon. It's a network for you.
Monday, August 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on pay-per-view, the Super Fights. World champ Dennis Alexio takes on FFKA champ Errol Hennigan for the kick title. Undefeated Bill Superfoot Wallace returns to the ring against rival Joe Louis, the Golden Boy. Europe's light heavyweight champ Marek Piotrowski, the Polish Power, takes on kick U.S. champ Mark Longo for the world title. More, Kathy the Punisher Long meets Sweet Denise Taylor. Don't miss the Super Fights.
live on Viewer's Choice. Order the Super Fights, the best night of kickboxing ever.
Another great tag team match, Joe, set to get us ready for today's TV main event.
That's right, and those two men that you talked to just a few minutes ago, the Mod Squad, in the ring now against David Isley and Rick Nelson. And in the ring right now, it's David Isley and Spike of the Mod Squad. And he is waiting for him, and there he goes again. He's down again, Rick Stewart.
So far, Buddy Landell spent the vast majority of this match on the canvas.
With Ricky Gibson looking down at him.
Yes, yes. Gibson snatching a side headlock on Landell. Doug Summers, as of yet, has not seen any action in today's TV main event. In the weeks to come, all your favorite stars. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin returns. Landell, leapfrog up and over his man. Gibson was ready for that one.
Oh, and now Landell says, I've had enough. Let me out of here. Things are just not going the way Buddy Landell wanted, Rick.
Welcome to the jungle, buddy. Gets worse here every day.
Now they're going to sit there and talk a little strategy. That's right. Buddy says, all right, you go in there. I'm
Go
sure.
get him, Doug.
Yeah.
Go get him, baby.
Yeah, you can handle him, baby. You go on in there and do it. Robert Gibson now standing and waiting. Doug Summers stands right up to him, and now there they go with a headlock and a tag. Ricky Gibson comes in. Oh,
wait a minute. Caught from behind. He catches a right hand from both rock and rollers. And look how Gibson Morton putting his whole body into it. Winding Doug Summers back up to the ropes, right in the pit of the stomach. And the rock and roll starting to move out in today's main event.
Oh, and take a look at Doug Summers gasping for air. And now another tag made, and we see the mark of a good team. In and out, in and out. These two must have tagged at least twice or three times for every time that the team of Summers has tagged it. Oh, bad move on the part of Robert Gibson.
Doug
all
Summers
the way through.
Just so poised and methodical in the ring. He's a waiter. He'll wait for you to make a mistake, and that's all it takes.
Now, Buddy Landell wants to come back in.
Here's where Landell's at his best. When somebody else has got your arms behind your back, when you're hurt, when you're at a disadvantage, Buddy Landell is kind of like the sharks that swim off the pier and eat the dead fish as they float up on the beach. A little Florida parallel there.
I was just going to say, that's got to be a Pensacola term there.
It's Buddy Landell, the shark of professional wrestling.
No, not me, referee. I never touched his hair.
I don't cheat.
Yeah. Buddy Landell right now has Robert Gibson in a bad way. This all, of course, stemming from when Robert went charging into that corner. Doug Summers able to move out of the way, and Buddy goes straight into that steel post. But as we see, Robert Gibson's not ready to stop. Again, though, a yank of the hair ends it all, Rick.
Good shot from the cameraman. He caught Landell right in the act. Now, no tag here.
They're way out in the middle of the ring. There's no way a tag was made. Now, the referee, look at this. The referee says, did you guys make a tag? What are they going to say? No.
A tough job being the third man in the ring, especially when you got a couple of guys like Landell and Summers. Hang on, Buddy Landell making his way up the ropes. Oh.
Now there they make a switch again with no tag. And oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Your Honor. We made a tag. My arms are 8 feet long. We made a tag.
Buddy Landell hanging on to the left arm of Gibson. He flings him off. Landell just plowed into Ricky Morton in the corner.
Well, now the referee has to get Ricky Morton out of the ring, but at the same time, look at the opportunity it gives Summers and Landell to do more double teaming and more damage to that shoulder and arm of Robert Gibson, and Robert is in a bad way.
As much as I hate to admit it, the Blondes are looking sharp. Pretty Boy Doug Summers and Nature Boy Buddy Landell have obviously been planning this while they were running their mouths, and we can see the fruits of their labor here, because they've got Robert Gibson, as you said, in a bad way, and they've been hammering on that left arm now for quite a couple of minutes.
Well, you got to give the devil his due, or the devil's their due.
Gotta swallow
These two are doing a good job. Now Robert throws him into the ropes. Here's an opportunity. Well, he takes advantage of it. Buddy Landell had to think that he had the world in his hands when he grabbed a hold of that foot and now he is out like a light.
He had the world come upside his head.
Right now, Buddy makes the tag. Unfortunately, Robert Gibson doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Doug Summers comes down, but he knocks him right into the corner where he can make a tag, and Ricky Gibson says, come on, Buddy, roll.
Ricky Morton now taking on both Landell and Doug Summers by himself. A meeting of the minds, as my old buddy used to say. Reverses Ricky Morton into the ropes. Morton up and behind his man. He's got Summers rolling up. 1, 2.
Over.
Hang on.
Buddy Landell throws Ricky over, but Ricky's ready to come right back in. He landed on his feet. All 4 men are in the ring now.
Referees called for the bell, Joe. We're going to have a disqualification for Landell throwing Morton over the top rope. The Rock and Rolls are going to be declared the winner of this one, but this thing ain't over, brother.
No, not by a long shot. And there you see the team of Buddy Landell and Doug Summers, and they're not very happy. And I must say, though, neither are the Rock and Roll Express. If you take a look, the Rock and Roll Express are screaming for the team of Landell and Summers to come back into the ring. And what a situation we've got. Let's go to Rick Stewart.
Pretty boy Doug Summers and Nature Boy, but there they are, sir.
Yeah, here we are. You see, you finally got a match with us, and what do? You got to throw me over the top rope.
What?
He threw me over the top rope. 10 times. They use a fist.